What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Hellboy from Hot Toys, and you can order this figure. It's actually available now at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. Do not miss out the opportunity to grab this figure. I am telling you right now, it's one hell of a figure. No pun intended there. But I know it's kind of sold out in different retailers, so just go ahead. It's still available. Jump on it. It's a beautiful figure, I'm telling you guys. So let's take it out. Let's see the box right here. It says Hellboy. The box is kind of has that crooked look into it, and on top it says Hellboy. It does have this inlay which you can take out. It says Creative Team. You can see right away it has massive accessories. On the top part you can see the flame effects, the Excalibur there, some guns, and it's two-part. So you take this main figure out, and at the bottom you do see the outfit, which is the trench coat and the t-shirt that he does have, and you have this backdrop. And I know what you're thinking right now. You don't like the movie. I rewatched the movie, as a matter of fact, before I did this review, and it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's not the best, but it's not the worst movie that I've seen that people are making it out to be. I don't know, man. I've seen the first Hellboy. It was cool too. It's not like I was wowed with it, but as a figure, and I like this look a lot better than the Ron Perlman one. So, you know, I don't know if they're gonna have a Hellboy 2. Hopefully, and you see this Excalibur right here has some weight to it. See all the amount of accessories here. I'm just saying, like, I hope we get another crack at this Hellboy, because I feel like he looks good. You see his hands right here on the side. But as far as this figure itself, you know, there are figures where the movies are not amazing, but they turn out to be just great figures. And as far as the character itself, I love the character, you know, so I don't necessarily feel bad that I picked up this figure and it's not the Ron Perlman version. It's still Hellboy. And you can see the hand right there. There's two types of hand. One is a close-fisted one, and one is a bit open, so you can insert the sword into it, Excalibur. And as far as the right hand, you got fisted hands, sword holding hand, you got a trigger finger, open palm, and this guy right here who has some rosary, which I don't know when it occurred. I rewatched the movie, like I said, but I never really remembered. Just be careful though with this hand, especially the red ones. When you are inserting the Excalibur, just make sure you kind of grasp the fingers and separate them. Don't just nudge the sword inside, because it's going to scratch the paint. So just be careful with that. Now comes with two bracelets as well, which they never really told what the difference is. They just said bracelets. Even on the instructions, it said just beaded bracelets, I suppose, or rosaries, whatever the case is. You can interchange them, and you got two guns. One is like a massive revolver that his father gave to him before he rode that truck. This one is beautiful, nicely painted, not die cast, both of them. There's some articulation here because you could actually rotate that thing, and that's it. You can't move the hammer or whatever. And this is kind of like a shotgun, like a sawed-off shotgun, I suppose. Nicely painted again. No articulation whatsoever here, but you know, gets the job done. And moving forward, you can see the communicator, which is really nice as well. You can see there's like a clip at the back that you can put it on his belt. You can see his logo as well, nicely detailed, nicely painted. And the beautiful thing about this figure is, like, you can have him holding one gun and the other gun goes to his holster, and you can see the man bun of Hellboy there. There's two of them. This is the one that's default, and the other one you're gonna use that with a bar to get his flaming crown effect. And as far as flaming effects goes, as you can see here, he got a lot of them, and you can just spread them however you like. There's really no right or wrong thing to do here. And this is the crown effect. It doesn't light up, but I would say this. I took pictures of this guy. If you put lights right next to it, it shines. It looks beautiful. I can tell you that right now. So the Excalibur, as you can see here, this is made out of plastic. This one feels cheap, but nicely painted. So be careful, don't mess around with it, because I feel like I'm gonna break the sword. And you can see there's a lot of chips on the sword that it's not perfect, and that's a nice touch right there. This one is heavy. If you are planning on having him hold the sword, gotta be careful. Don't leave it for too long. I feel like it's gonna put some stress on the joints, especially on the wrist peg. So just saying, I mean, just be mindful when you put that in. I mean, nicely detailed, but it has some serious weight into it. And moving forward, you can see his horns. This is when he kind of transformed into the king. I don't know, Hellboy King or whatever you want to call that. And you see a key. It's kind of like a statue. You just kind of key it in there on his forehead, and he got horns. Nicely painted. I wish it was magnet, because I don't know. I'm not too comfortable with the keying those in. And this one as well, you got the I don't know what you call it, thunder / flaming effects that you are gonna put, or you could, or if you don't want to, on the Excalibur. You see, you get the idea here. You kind of thread it in and just fix it however you want. There's really no right or wrong way in putting this in. Just make sure it's kind of like wrapping around the sword. And after that, you get the outfit, the alternative outfit for Hellboy, which he does uses the trench coat a lot. And inside was the shirt. It says here the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. That is like a black shirt, which just has a little bit of a give anyway, so I don't think it's gonna stain the body. Even the trench coat, because I looked at the inner lining, it's not like super tight and not super black, so I don't think it's gonna leave any marks. And as far as the stand, you get the normal standard stand in here, and the flaming effects, you kind of put it right on. It's up to you really how you want to display this. And you got the backdrop as well of Hellboy, which I probably wouldn't use. I have a gazillion of these, and it just takes up space. It doesn't even fit the Detolf. It's good for one-offs, like a Hellboy figure, but no, he's gonna come with Kratos and all that figures of mine. And you can see there's another hole for the stand in the back. And as far as the actual figure itself, I keep on mentioning it is a beautiful figure. You can see all the details on the belt. It's a lot of them. Is that a horseshoe on his? I guess it is. Oh, that's the iron that he uses, because apparently, like, Monster doesn't like iron. And the body itself, newly developed. It's that I hope they use towards like Drax and other shirtless characters that they do have. This is seamless, but it doesn't. I hope it doesn't melt in the future. They've developed some seamless bodies in the past, which it's all right. Like the Wonder Woman, I've seen them cracking, sticking together and all that stuff. I hope this figure doesn't suffer the same fate, but as far as details is concerned, it is magnificent. You see those hands right there, nicely painted. And when you remove it, which you could, especially when you are inputting his coat, it has some nice weight to it. So beautifully done. And you see the boots, it's not two part, it's one solid piece, so you kind of lose the ankle articulation there. However, I don't think you're gonna need a whole lot of articulation with this figure. He's just a massive guy, a tank. It's all you need to know. And he has some decent articulation for what he is, so I'm happy with that. Now, as far as the tail, this is a I haven't tried removing mine, but this is, you can bend the tail in however you want. You can also move the tail back and forth and all that stuff, left to right. On the back part right here, he has some hair. I know it's more pronounced in the movie, so they made it a little bit tamer here. Got some scratches on his back, some scars. That tricep, that horseshoe triceps is beautiful. You can kind of see the seam on the side of his arm, but it's all right. See all the bracelets now, or the one that I included there. Look at those details on this belt. Let's move this hand, and it's ratcheted joints as well, so just putting it out there. Look at those bullets. Looks beautiful with all that details. And that's the communicator right next to the rosary. And those pouches, telling you guys, back in the day, they would have been functional. Nowadays, it's just sculpted, but it's fine. Doesn't take away anything for me. And going back to the boots itself, now let's go to the most important part of any Hot Toys, which is the head sculpt. Now, this is the best picture that I can find in the net. You know, it's dark, I know, but we're gonna transition this guy into the Hot Toys version, and I think it's pretty close. You know, the eyes aren't exactly matching up, but I think this is a good representation of Hellboy from Hot Toys. The eyes are kind of deep. That it's beautiful eyes. You can see it right now. It's some yellowish tone to it. But once I open the lights here, and you can see that he kind of has that Gandalf effect from Asmus, where it's kind of hard to see the eyes. It's too deep that you can almost don't see it properly. But as far as the sculpt itself, man, it is beautiful. Beautiful. You can remove the horns, replace it. You know, so many options here. One thing that they could have done, I suppose, is have a rooted hair, because his hair is not really, doesn't have a lot of volume. It's like getting in his face. So that would have been a nice experiment for them. I don't think they can mess that up completely. They just have to have, like, you know, some strands going into his face and whatnot. You know, missed opportunity there, but I get the idea there to why they went with the sculpted hair. It's safer. It does work. It's just that on the head, you just gotta move the hair around, especially on the front if you're moving him from side to side. So just be mindful of that. But no complaints here whatsoever. I just thought that it would have been better if had it been brooded hair. But nonetheless, it doesn't take away from the beauty of this figure. And as far as the horn, you can take them out quite easily. You don't need to, put any effort or force into it. So let's look at him, in a close-up look here. Man, that is nice. See that beautiful face right there? Face of a devil. But yeah, the yellow eyes that he does have. I don't know if I wish you can see it right there. It's kind of blurry, but I could see it. It looks beautiful. And the most important part, the articulation, a lot of people are asking. So he's on a ratcheted joint. The head moves up and down quite just a little bit there. You can put his head down and keep in mind that the hair might be in the way once you do that. You can raise the arm from the sides. You can actually raise it higher than this. It's ratcheted, so you kind of know when to stop. That's higher there. His forearm here on the right hand is a little bit heavier, so you just keep a caution. You can see his pits. You can see the kind of like a wet marks in there, like he sweat on his pits. But that's, I don't know how long he has been on the his arms on the side. You can put his arms on the side pretty flushed as well, so a lot better than most figures that I've had, where it's there. Be careful, man. Every time that I move this kind of figures, I kind of hold them, and again, they're ratcheted, so I kind of hold them to the strong points with the shoulders. If you're moving the elbows, you kind of support the elbows just to make sure you don't break anything in there, especially after what happened to my Commander Cody. I'm a little bit more careful when it comes to this. You can bend the elbows as well, not too much again, or if you do, it's fine. Just make sure you put him back in a neutral position, because otherwise I'm afraid you're just gonna ruin the actual body itself, which is, it's beautiful. And the knees can bend pretty far. That's cool right there. It's not like you're gonna use that functionality. Some thigh swivel in there. There's obviously no bicep swivel, no ankle articulation, and the tail, if you want him sitting down, you can move this around, going up and down. There's some I feel like there's some wires into it, so that is pretty cool. And you're looking at this figure itself, that is pretty nice. If you can bend the shoulders, going back right there as well. So there's a lot of things in here that and there's like a little bit of I don't know what you call that, cramping up on the chest, but I guess that's just how it is. It's some ab crunch, and the body is separated from the waist, so you can have some twisting motion there on the waist area. Now let's take a look at this guy. Ooh, beautiful. Look at him with a crown, newly crowned king, holding that sword now on his shoulders. You know, you can display him looking like this. Just that is beautiful right there, guys. That is just nice. Whenever he doesn't have the shirt, the only thing here is that if you are gonna display him like this, be mindful of that elbow, because it just hurts me to see people, you know, like leaving their figures with the dynamic pose for a long time and then coming back with some flaking issues. In this case, it's rubber. It's probably gonna stick together and you're gonna remove some paint. So just be mindful with that. You can take a picture, I'm sure. You can leave him there for a few minutes. I wouldn't say go on for hours without, you know, reposing him. And there he is with this handgun trying to chase someone. Beautiful here. And this is him with all the outfits. So he got the t-shirt on, the trench coat. The t-shirt is black. Again, I mentioned it before. I don't think it's gonna stain. However, I'm not a big fan of this look though. So I'm gonna probably leave him in my collection with the trench coat without the shirt on inside. Or if that's the good thing about this. You can mix and match whatever you feel that day, you know, when you're trying to take a picture of him. And I always love options. Love options right here. And here he is holding the Excalibur with the thunder / flame effect on it. And as you can see, the right hand, which is the bigger hand, can hold items as well. Like I mentioned earlier, there's two hands for that. One is like an open palm gripping, which is this one, and one is a fisted hand. So it's on your imagination whether you want. There's no trigger finger though on this hand right here. But overall, I think looks pretty good. And let's put him back to hell in here. So with some flame effects on the side, I think it looks pretty good. Here he is with just the trench coat, holding the gun. And this is kind of how am I going to display him. Maybe without the horns. I just leave the horns cut off. Also, maybe not without the crown. I just feel like the crown is gonna fall off anytime and I'm gonna regret it. So for photography wise, it's fine. For a long period of time, I probably won't. I'm gonna be too afraid that it's gonna fall off, chip that thing, or just completely break off that crown. But and you see that base from Spider-Man 2 works pretty well. And he is taller than a standard figure, as you can see here with the deluxe Mando. I'm gonna put him right next to it as well. See that? He is a little taller. He's probably like 13 inches tall, but it's worth it. I can tell you right now, the price that you're gonna pay for this guy it's all worth it. And here you go, guys. This is Hellboy from Hot Toys, and as you can see here, I don't even have the room. There's so much accessories for this guy. I highly recommend you guys picking up this figure while you still could. Worst case scenario, this is one of those things where we are worried about reissue. I don't think this is going to be reissued anytime soon. I mean, there's nothing impossible when it comes to Hot Toys, but this is one of those figures where if you're kind of on the fence, right, but you acknowledge you don't like the movie, but you acknowledge that it's a great looking figure, I would say go for it. The worst case scenario is if you sit on this for a while, as soon as, let's say, Big Bad, depletes their stock, I'm sure you'll find a buyer for this for a decent. At worst, I think you'll get your money back. At worst. And this is if you are on the fence about Hellboy. If you're not, it's a must-have. If you're a figure fan, this is what made Hot Toys. Figures like this, the Alita, the other ones as well, Neo, John Wick. I'm a figure fan. I love movies as well, and this movie was okay for me, but the figure is amazing. I'm glad to have this in my collection. This is one of those things where there's so much Star Wars or Marvel that things like this kind of standouts on their own, and I love it. I can't express enough how much I love this and Alita lately. The two that was announced or I got from last year. So I'm extremely happy for these two figures. I wish Hot Toys would do more of these one-offs. I wish they would. You know, I have a lot of ideas on my head. I know they wouldn't do it though, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this figure. Thank you for watching, guys. Hit that, thumbs up button if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.